Happy New Year! Let's just see if this is working. So I need to sign in. Hopefully this is all working. I don't seem to be able to see anything on here though. If I reload it maybe? Not sure. Okay, yeah. Here it is. Happy New Year, Archaeostu. Sorry about the pronunciation there. Welcome everyone. Sorry. Alright, so the plan today, I'm away from home at the moment, so unfortunately I'm temporarily back using Windows 10 rather than Linux, but hopefully it won't be a problem. Today we're planning to animate a looping animation for a competition that I've been entering the last few months. Hopefully I'll be able to show you some of what I've been doing. Let's open this up. Yeah. So this was my last entry. The theme for this one was garden. I had a lot of fun with it. And unfortunately I don't have the file with me, but I do have the Vimeo link for the previous entry that I did, which is here. I think hopefully some of you will be able to remember when I live streamed the process of making some of this. Yeah, and it was lots of fun. Anyway, today the theme for this one is hot, and I'll show you what I've got so far. So this is the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four, and I was just thinking, you know, he's going to be a little surprised by his own superpowers. I've also got some reference images over here, ready to go. Some of them are based on the recent movie. I haven't actually seen it yet, but I really like the costume design, so I think I might go based on that. And then I've also got some effects animation references here. So I'll just keep that on the other screen while I work. I think we're going to go with a kind of simple rig, because hopefully it'll save time overall, even though it's a really short animation. So let's just start organizing the scene. Where did this go? Here we go. Okay. At least it's not Windows 11. And how you, yeah, Windows 11 is awful at the moment. I'm really glad I haven't updated this computer. I do intend to switch this computer over to Linux once I find the time, just because, you know, Windows 10 is no longer supported. How was your New Year / Christmas? Yeah, I had a great New Year's and Christmas. Spent some time with my family. It's been really nice. I'm still visiting my parents. I'll be flying back up to work on Sunday, and that'll be really nice. Can I increase the mic volume, please? Yes, I can. Thank you. gain. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Just let me know if that is any better. Testing, testing. Also bring my mic a little bit closer to my face. Alright, hopefully that should sound better based on the volume that's coming out here. Okay, cool. Too scratchy. That's good. Alright, I'll just reduce it a little bit. Okay. Hopefully that'll be good. Cool. So I'm just going to start adding grease pencil objects. I think I need to figure out a color palette. That's going to be difficult. I'm not particularly good with turn down the gain. I'll turn down the gain, sure. I've also got this thing. Testing, testing. That's too much. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And for those who don't have a drawing tablet, how can we draw better with a mouse? That is tricky. I would definitely recommend if you want to do animation professionally, I would recommend getting even just the cheapest tablet available. But if you really can't do that yet, just use the like the curve tools, you know, so you can edit it as you go. And then I would also this is really good for doing like precise drawings, but if you want to keep the kind of fluid nature of drawing with a pen, then I would actually recommend drawing physically on a piece of paper, taking a photo of it, putting that on your computer, and then you can draw over it using these tools like I'm showing you here. So that's how you can still make cool animations without a graphics tablet. All right. I'm going to start adding grease pencil objects. Am I not? I'm in draw mode, that's why. Okay. I'm going to call this, so his name is human torch underscore body. Okay, cool. Okay, this shouldn't be too difficult. This should be alright. So that'll be the body. And then I need... yeah, and then the head. And also the hand. And this needs to be called the sketch, or roughs. So that was just a kid spontaneously combusting? Yeah, fair enough. It does look like that in the animation. But you know, it's hopefully once I've finished it, you'll be able to see this 4 symbol a bit clearer, and then you'll know it's I actually don't know his name. The Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. Cool. that's the hand. And then I also want, I'm trying to figure out, do I want to keep the legs as just one object, or let's look at the animation. There was a little bit of bending. Yeah, no, I should split it up. Okay, cool. I'll add thigh one, shin one, foot one. Okay. Now I need the other side. Thigh two, shin two, foot two. Cool. Alright, now I need to figure out some colors. I'm thinking sort of a pastel-y look, but I don't know. I'm gonna keep organizing my scene until I can figure this out. I'm gonna move this roughs to a new collection. No, to a new collection called roughs. And then I'm gonna rename this collection to Human Torch. I'm gonna add all the arm stuff to an arm collection. Where's hand one? Where's forearm one? There we go. Move that underneath Human Torch, and I still need the other side. Arm two, forearm two, hand two. Okay, I'll keep those in a separate collection called arm two. Body, and then the foot, shin, thigh. Oh, actually, I'm gonna go Human Torch, then new collection. Alright, leg one, and then I'll put the others. Foot, shin, thigh, in leg two. Okay, that should be good for now. I'm gonna start drawing the body, which is here. Okay. So first and foremost, I'm gonna, okay, this is called layer. That's good for now. I'm gonna call this one blue, I guess. Yeah, blue. Trying to think if there's gonna be any problems. Should be okay. Okay. Alright, should be good. I'm just going to leave it as just a black stroke for now, and then I'm going to, in drawing mode, I'm just going to what happened to that stroke? Why is it all grey? Ah, it's not strong enough. Okay. And I'm going to add a smooth modifier. Actually, one thing I've learned is in edit mode, you see how sparsely, how irregular these point spacing is? If I add a simplify modifier set to sample, and set it to something like 0.01 or maybe 0.05. Okay, maybe maybe 0.02. Okay, that's good. You can see how consistently spaced those points are. And I'll just leave that there, and then I'm going to add a noise modifier. I'm going to increase the scale a bit more. That's good. And then reduce the amplitude on the position. I'll leave the strength alone because it's not actually going to remain. It's not going to remain line work. I'm going to do like a lineless style for the most part. I'm going to just for now I'm going to set it to uniform thickness just so that my pressure sensitivity doesn't alter the way it looks. Okay, that's good. And now I can replace it with a fill color. That's something like, just trying to look at the reference images as I go, something kind of a tealy blue. I think that's good for now. One thing I want to do is just turn off automatic keyframes and just move the sketch a bit forwards, just so that it's always in front. Okay, now I need to do the white part of the uniform as well as the 4. Now, interestingly, okay, so I'm probably gonna have to mask some of this, which is a shame. I don't like masking in grease pencil, but it'll have to do. Okay, will be good. So I'm going to add a new layer. So I'll call this one base layer. Call this one white. Turn on masking and tell it to mask to the base layer. And I'll add a new material called white. And of course, it's not actually going to be white. It's just going to be very light blue, low saturation, a little bit darker, maybe just a tad more purple. Okay, so hopefully that's going to look really good when I do this. And I don't have full strength. Here we go. I still don't have full strength. I'll use something that doesn't use. There we go. Don't really like the way that looks though. Okay. Okay. Good. And that's also wobbling around a little bit. I think I'm going to reduce that on that noise. Set it to 0.01. Oh, and I'm also going to add some smoothing. Keep shape. Okay, that should be good. I'll just move that above the thickness. Okay. I'll reduce the intensity of that smoothing. Okay, cool. Now I need the little 4. Why is that? I thought I need to delete the keyframes before I shift it forward. Okay, cool. Now it's always in front. Alright. Now I need to figure out what that 4 should look like. It's kind of just a white floor white circle with a blue 4 in the middle. I'm going to really simplify it though because it's a little overly complicated. Kind of like that. Oh no, that's just as detailed. Okay, cool. So on the layers, do I create a new layer or do I just put it on the base? I'll just put it on the base. I'll use the same white white material. I'm going to use a circle. Okay, I haven't put this high enough resolution on the simplify. I think I will use 0.01. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, so now I need a 4. I used the wrong type of 4 in my sketch. That's okay. So I'll use the blue now. I will draw a 4. I wonder if it's still too low res. I'll set it to 0.005. That looks better. Okay, it's too close to that top part though, so I'll just move it down a bit. Okay. Lovely. Now, I'd kind of designed it as like almost a turtleneck, and that's kind of what I'm seeing here. But it's not quite. What if I need to slightly change this? If I use proportional editing. I'll make a new layer called color. And I'll draw it like this. Don't really like the look of that. Let me just make it a bit bigger. There we go. How does that look? Looks alright. Okay, I'm going to draw the head next. Now, he has quite pale skin and really even paler hair. So when I select the head, I'm going to call this Human Torch Skin. I'm going to do kind of an orangey skin because even though it would be naturally paler than this, I'm kind of incorporating some of the lighting into the color scheme. And I can't really tell what the color should be until I've drawn some of it. Yeah, I think I've gone too saturated here. Alright, I'll just finish this up. And just bring it in front of the body a little bit. Okay, that's a terrible skin tone. I'm just going to reduce the saturation a bit. Okay, and then I need a new material for his hair. Start by just eyedropping it, and then I'll make it lighter, more saturated, and more yellow. Okay. And now I need to make a new layer and mask it to the first. Again, I wish I didn't have to do so much masking. I feel like masking in grease pencils are very temperamental. Yeah. Okay, I don't like that color either. Does the blonde... I guess the blonde should actually be darker than his skin. Oh, okay, it needs to be really saturated then. That's kind of what I'm going for. I think I'll refine the color scheme later on. Alright, so I'm going to call this base layer and hair. And then the question is, do I create a new object for the face, or do I keep it on the same layer? I think I create a new object. Burnt orange for the hair. That would definitely make sense thematically. But I think if I show you the reference images again, they're kind of really consistently blonde. So I think... Anyway, like I said, I'll refine it a bit later on. I think I need to create different objects for the facial features though. Maybe highlights. Yeah, I think I want to keep it graphically simple though. So I want to like as few shapes as possible, you know? Also just gonna... I just need to create a small shadow here. Actually just assigning the blue and then shifting it down one. Yeah, that creates the effect I need. Oh, not quite. I do need a new color. Hang on. I'll just make a new material, call it shadow, and just eyedrop the white. Just make it a bit darker, a bit more saturated, a little more purple. Alright, and I'll assign that. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Yes, this is going to be an animation. I'll show you. I'll select the roughs, isolate them. Alright, I'll show you what I've got so far. So this is the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. He's a little surprised by his own abilities. So he does the classic stop, drop, and roll. And it just loops and loops. Right. know what's really annoying about this design? They've split the arms in half between blue and white, which means that you need to actually care about what way, like whether the forearm is like facing up or down. It'll be good though. Once it'll be very clearly readable for the viewer, which will be good. Ah, and I need to add the belt to the body here. I'm just going to duplicate this. I need to duplicate this simplify modifier and apply it. Now I've got a little more control. Alright, now this movie design has a few more details on the belt, but I want to keep it simple, so I'm just going to leave it like it is. Looking okay so far. I'm just going to take this head though, shift select the body, F3, copy modifiers. And hopefully now all of those modifiers are there now. Lovely. Right. Should be able to create a new object, call it I1, I2, nose, mouth. Where did those go? Okay, they're here. Mouth, nose, eyes. I'll create a new, under Human Torch, I'll create this face. Okay, cool. Now under I1. Now the tricky thing is, this character has really piercing blue eyes, but I know from experience that when I use this like beady eye style, it really only works with black eyes. So I'm just going to do that. And I'm also just gonna use these curve tools to create his eyebrows. I guess technically these should be also blonde, but then you're not going to be able to see them properly. So I'm just going to leave that black. It's like it's line work. I'm going to copy that, and then on the other eye object, I'll paste it, move it over, shift it forward, flip that around. Okay, now for the nose, I'm also going to just shift it forward a little bit. And I'm going to first I'm going to draw, I think it's going to look like line work, but I think it actually needs to be not line work. Like it needs to actually be a shape, kind of like the eyebrows. So I'm just going to draw that like that. Fill that in. And then underneath that, so I'll just call that lines. And then underneath that, I'm going to make a new material called nose, which will just be his skin tone, but a little more saturated, a little more red, and that's it. And then I'll draw that like this. I think I like the way that looks. This is just called black. I'm going to call this eyes. Right, now for the mouth, I'll also bring that forward a little bit, just in front of the head, but still behind the nose. Yeah, that works. Okay. And instead of this material, I'm going to go with the lines material. Now, I just noticed on this hair, it's a little too flat. So I'm just gonna add some little notches on the hair layer. There we go. Oh, I think that maybe that breaks up the shape a bit too much. I think those ones are good. Okay, cool. In fact, I might just scale them up. Happy New Year. In your opinion, does Grease Pencil help with creating and animating characters for export to Unreal Engine 5? Thanks. I'm going to say no. Now, that's not to say that you can't make 2D rigs in Blender that'll export to Unreal Engine 5. But if you're using Grease Pencil specifically, I would avoid it. Just because Grease Pencil, like, for example, a mesh is stored in like a standardized way. So whether you open it in Maya or Unreal Engine or Blender, it's going to open the same way. But Grease Pencil, there's nothing really else like it. It's just Grease Pencil. So it's going to be really difficult to import anything that you make in Grease Pencil into another software. Hypothetically, you could export an SVG file, but I just wouldn't use it. If you want to make a 2D character in Blender that you export to Unreal Engine 5, I would use image planes, with painted textures that you can rig up in a kind of like a 3D workflow. Okay, so what's next? I think I need to select all these grease pencil objects except for the roughs. Have the body as the main one, and I just need to copy the modifiers. Okay, now they're all going to be wobbling about. Yeah, beautiful. I just flip my camera and it's a little skewed, but I think it's like a stylistic skew, you know, not a terrible skew. Alright, which object do I do next? I think the arms. Unfortunately, what's really annoying is every time that I make a new object, it creates a new material automatically called black, or if that already exists, black.001 or 002, etc., etc. Which means now I need to go File, Clean Up, Purge Unused Data, Delete. 8 materials deleted. I've still got a bunch of them because they're still attached to some of the objects. So I need to do that again a bit later. So I just need to, should be called blue? Yeah, okay. And I'm going to call this base. I'll just make the new layer, mask to base, new material, white, and that's going to look something along these lines. Okay. And now I'm going to add the forearm, which is going to have the same materials, blue and white. Although on this view, he's got his forearms like that, so I might just draw it just with a default white. I'll still set it up so that the layers can have it. Call this base, call this white, still mask it. But in this particular starting pose, I'm just going to draw it with the white material. There we go. That looks good. Okay. Now that it's no longer a rough drawing, I'm not liking how long those arms are. I'm just going to shorten them a bit. Why is that doing some Z fighting? Just going to shift it a little bit further forward. Okay, good. This is going to be fun to animate. With this hand, I'm just going to leave just one layer, get the skin material. And I'll just do really simple shape. Shift that just in front, and I'll move it into place. I'll make a new material, not make a new one, I'll reuse the line material, and I'll just okay, I don't like that. I'm going to keep it simple. Alright, how's this looking so far? It's alright. I'm getting there. I don't like the way this looks for some reason. I'm just going to bend it down a bit. Like that. Yeah. Okay. Do you know that the Blender on iPad port is on hold? Oh, that's a shame. I don't think I didn't really have any intentions to use it, so it doesn't really affect me, but I can see how that's, yeah, no, that's a shame. You're developing an add-on. You've managed to get close to the Moho workflow with SmartBones in the new Blender 5.0. If you're interested, perhaps we could collaborate. Yeah, I mean, I got a comment recently telling me that my add-on with the SmartBones was broken in 5.0. I haven't had an opportunity to check and fix it yet, but you know, my add-on's open source, so if you want to like you know, submit an update, I'd be happy to take a look at that. But yeah, that'd be good. But otherwise, right now, I don't really have a lot of time for developing add-ons. Unfortunately, not as much time as I would like. So I don't know about any sort of like formal collaborating on a larger project. Lovely. That's looking good. It's looking really good. Yeah. Okay. Now I guess I'm gonna copy the content. Yeah. And then on the other arm 2, just paste that, flip it, unhide the roughs. I'll move this stuff to a new layer called white. And over here, I'll mask it. Call that one base. And I'll get rid of this material. Why is it locked? Oh, I need to be in object mode. Okay. And I'll copy this, and then in this other forearm one, I'm gonna do the same thing. Base layer, white layer, mask to base. And just copy that over here. And then just shift that forward a little bit. Just copy that over to the hand. Got the body, head, face, arms. It's just the legs now. Okay, thigh one. Please tell me these are just blue. They are just blue. Nice. I'll just draw that in. Right. Oh, and of course the shin has boots. Right, not a problem. So I'll just draw that in like so. Or I might need to alter the shape of that first one to kind of match this. Am I going to use bones or frame by frame or something in between? I'm going to use something in between. So I've noticed that particularly for like shorter animations like this, it still saves a lot of time to do like the big motions with bones, right? But then all the little details, if you try and rig it, it just takes forever, and then it still doesn't look as good as you want it to. So I'm gonna rig them up, but then I'm gonna alter the each drawing is gonna move with the bones, but then I'm gonna create new drawings as I go to get it exactly as I want it. If you've ever used Toon Boom Harmony, it's like using the pegs to get the poses you want, and then using the deformers to get it exactly the way you want it, or making a new drawing sub is probably closer to what we're actually going to be doing. So yeah, it's kind of like an in-between, where the overall motion of each object will be controlled by a rig, but then it's gonna do a frame by frame animation. Each object will have its own frame by frame animation synced up with that, if that makes any sense. I've had some trouble with masking in grease pencil before. I really hope I don't run into that again. I am on a newer, later version of Blender though, so maybe it's all been fixed. I haven't run into it so far. I've done more masking than I expected to. I'm just going to move that down a little bit. Shorter boots than that. Alright, that's looking good. I just need to copy that over now. I'm just going to hide this and hide that. I'll hide this and that. Right. That should give me the information I need. I'm also going to hide that. Okay. I'm going to turn the roughs back on actually. Alright, there we go. Ooh, I'm actually not a fan of how this transition is looking now. Okay, that's good. Okay, I'll copy that. Now over here on Shin, paste it, flip it around, rotate it. Okay. Oh, actually, I'm going to unrotate it and just rotate this one. And now I'll move that to a new layer called white. Call that one base. Mask that to base. Alright, perfect. Now I'm going to sculpt it into place. I have an interesting decision here. I'm going to add another mask just to this object called shadow. I'm going to make a new material. Oh, I'll get rid of that one. New material called blue shadow. Select that color. Reduce the value, increase the saturation, make it more blue. Perfect. And now I'll just draw in a quick one of those. Okay. Clearly this object is in front of the body and I don't want that. There we go. Okay. I don't like how I've done the shadow. I'll just redo that color again. Yeah, that's looking good. Where'd these arms go? Oh yeah, okay. seeing you add so many grease pencil objects and comparing that to my comparing to my that only use one with lots of layers makes me feel like I've been living a lie. No, don't worry. I don't know if you've seen some of my other videos. I kind of flip flop. Like sometimes I'll do lots of objects, and then other times I'll say no, one character should have one object and 1,000 layers. Right now I'm feeling more like lots of objects is better, but I might flip flop back. Who's to say? I haven't settled on a single workflow yet. So yeah, if it works for you, don't worry about it. I'm really liking the colors here. I might adjust the skin tone and such, but overall, yeah, I'm liking this a lot. Now, I'm gonna add that shadow object here. Yeah. Yeah, I think the main advantage to having more objects is it means it's easier to animate the layer order. Like later I can just keyframe this to go behind. But you know, there are advantages to using lots of layers in one object as well. So yeah, don't worry too much. Alright, now I just need the feetsies, as they say. Oh, okay, interestingly. If we take a look at this again, I only have, okay, in both of these references, his feet have blue on the bottom. I guess that's technically pink, but that's only because of the lighting with the fire. It's more like this. And I really like that. I might do that, even though it means yet another mask. Alright, foot 1, there we go. I'll get the white and the blue. This time I'll do base and blue. Mask blue to base. And then I'll draw on base the main foot shape. Okay, and then under the blue, I'll just I like the way that looks. Alright, I'm going to copy that over onto the other foot. Where's leg 2, foot 2, there we go. Flip that over. Okay. Move that onto a second layer called blue. Call this one base. Mask blue to base again. And then it's just a matter of sculpting it into place because this foot looks a little different. start with just a mask and then just another and another and another until everything is a mask. Yeah. With grease pencil, I really try to avoid masks, though I've done a really bad job of that on this particular character. Now because I added that shadow mask on this leg, I actually need to do the same on this one, even though I'm going to keep that mask layer empty. Just in case I want to like flip the character but keep the objects consistent. Alright, there we go. Alright, time to start adding... First, I'm going to change the world color to be like a blue. Let me look into the render view. Add the whoa. I have no idea how to do this sort of thing. Like, do I go lighter than the character? Or do I go darker than the character? I feel like it all needs to feel. Do I just do that and make part of him invisible? I don't think that's a good idea. Do I just make it low contrast? Like that's a look. Do I go orange? But then when the fire starts, you know, that's going to be really difficult. Whoa, look how intense that'll look. I'm just going to go back to white for now. I don't like how flat that foot looks. Okay. I think time for an armature. Pretty happy with that overall. So yeah, let's add an armature. Oh, well, an armature. Single bone. Call this one. Here we go. Call this one root. I'm gonna go into front view, hide that. Oh, why is this like this? All right. I'm just gonna split this view with a vertical split. All right. This one, front view, just so that I can always see. Okay. Now that, along with all the face objects, should be in front of the neck. Okay. Now the hand here should be in front slightly. And yeah, that looks right. Okay, cool. Oh wait, no. This needs to be behind slightly. Okay. Now I can join that back. Okay. Now with this armature, I want the viewport settings, viewport display settings to be a bit different. Do I want B-bones? No, I'll stick with, I might go stick. Oh, I'll just leave it as default for now. Set to in front, and under the object viewport displays, I'll set the display as Y. There we go. It's called root. Let's see, names, just so I've got that. Okay. Let's call this one body. Keep that about center of gravity, so like a little bit below the middle of his body. Okay. Duplicate for the head. Create this one for the ear. Oh, let me just check my animation. See if there's any point where there are 2 ears visible, because then I need to create that in the rig. Nah, I should be able to get away with it.
call that one face. Then I want one for the eye. One. I realize I should have this as a separate object. So I'll just say move, no, P selection, set that to brow 1. Do the same over here. Brow 2. And I might do that with the ear too. I'll put that in the face collection as well. Okay, I'm going to go into wireframe view. Just move these around so that I can see where the joints should sit. Call that one arm1, or actually I'll say arm.l. That'll be easier. Extrude that one. Forearm.l. Disconnect. Hand.l. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Okay, and I'll just say Alt P, disconnect bone. Okay. Symmetrize. Nice. Call that one thigh.l. Extrude that down. Shin.l. Foot.l. Okay. Disconnect. Scale it down a bit and symmetrize. Okay, now it's time to actually attach these objects to these different bones. Alright, so I'll just parent that to the bone, parent that to the bone. This one should probably be a little bit forwards. Okay, cool. Now the reason I'm parenting these objects to their bones rather than using like vertex groups like I used to. Oh no, I forgot the other eyes. Is just because this way, when I create new drawings, I don't have to like reassign the vertex groups, you know? It'll just be in the same object, therefore still parented. Okay. Let's keep parenting. Oh, I didn't create the nose either. Oh. Alright, let's do that. And just parent those to the face. Parent that to the head. Parent the ear to the head as well. That's parented, but these aren't. Oh, it's not parented. There we go. Oh, and I need the mouth as well. Oh yeah, using lattices is another way to make sure that the parenting stays consistent. Yeah, no, that's really good. Because that way the actual vertices that are being parented using the vertex groups never change, even when you create new drawings. Though I've found personally for projects like this, and by that I mean like really small projects that need to be done quickly, I actually prefer to just use temporary lattices. So I just create frame by frame drawings, and when I need to, if I want to just alter something, I'll just use like the grease pencil box deform thing, and then I can just, well, look at that. And if I need more control, I'll just do that, you know. Just undo that though. Okay. Is that parented? That's parented. What's not parented yet? The face is parented. Nice. Okay. Arms. Hey, thanks for your message. I'm just gonna assume it's a very nice thing. But yeah. Actually, I'll just take the time to Google Translate this. Great, I've been waiting a while. Well, I'm glad I could. I'm glad you like watching my live streams. Yeah, it has been a while since my last one. I'm also hoping to do more videos this year. It's not a high bar to pass. I don't think I published a single video last year. I did some live streams, which I really enjoyed, but I don't think I did any videos. And I'm really close to finishing one, so I have no excuse not to publish this year. Cool. This is going to be fun. I'm actually going to stop using my graphics tablet as my main screen. So I'm just going to quickly disable my screen capture and swap over to my other screen. So just... Oh. A kid spontaneously combusting is a great excuse. Yes, indeed. Alright, I'll just swap over my display to over here. Bring that back over. And this. Make this full screen so you can't see my messy taskbar. But I'll swap this over to that. Okay, and now when I re-enable, oh. Alright, there we go. Oh, I feel like the colors have changed a bit. He's a bit too yellow. Yeah, I'll keep fiddling with the colors as I go. Okay, now I don't like, I'm just gonna go to stick. Are these meant to be wire? Maybe they should be stick instead of, wire instead of stick. Yeah. That way you can still see most of the... Just a moment. Alright, this way you can still see most of the character rather than just the bones. And I'm going to turn off the relationship lines. There we go. I'll disable names. And I'm going to make all of these red. Go to custom properties. No, viewport display. Display as, let's see, yeah, they're all red now. Nice. Cool. Now, another thing I want to do, because it's a 2D character, I don't need 4 different parameters for rotation. I just need 3. In fact, I just need 1, but I'll just set it to 3 because that's what Blender supports. And we'll start making progress on the animation, I guess. Alright, so that's frame 1. Yeah, alright, I'll just find that next frame. Add keyframes. Alright. Now I'm just gonna try and make this natural. Find myself in a better place. Oh no, I turned off my auto keyframing. I lost all that work. No. Alright. It's alright. So you can already see how this simple rig, because it's so simple, is just not going to be enough for the kind of animation I want. However, the moment I start altering these drawings a little bit, suddenly it's going to be quite good. Now, especially this leg doesn't match the drawing at all. But once I've edited it, it's gonna look perfect. Alright, speaking of which, time to do it. Now, I'm actually gonna use this. I'm gonna use the box deform. And I'm gonna start shifting this over here. Gonna add another couple divisions. Move this back. Actually, I'll apply that, and I'll use sculpt mode to shift it around a little more. But now this should shift down a little bit, maybe even shear. Yeah, there we go. You see how a lot of these edits that I'm making are really easy to make using the sculpt tools and the editing features and such. But if I tried to set it up with the rig, it would have taken like an hour more to rig or more, and it still wouldn't be as easy to make these changes. If I say new window and set that over here, can I draw the hand separately? I think I can. So I'll just move this, delete it, and just oh, I want the skin. Yeah, that works really well. Cool. Now over here, I'm gonna, how do I want that to look? I'm happy with that. I'm just gonna shorten that arm part a little bit. And I want to, on this mask part, I'm gonna take some blue and just make it look like it's the arm's turning a little bit. See what I mean? Yeah, that's gonna look great. just turn off the roughs. Yeah, really happy with that. But I do just want to fill in this gap a bit. Alright. Now what I don't like, I want this forearm to fit the curve a bit. It doesn't need to be as thick as the sketch. But I am going to add the blue. And in this mask layer, I'll go over here and just, oh, it's drawing mode. Yeah, make sure I've got the skin selected. Lovely. Now what else do I want to change? The nose? I do want to change the nose. But I'm going to make sure I'm out of the camera. I'm going to change the angle here. And I'm going to shear this along the view. Like that. Except for some reason that offset strangely, but that's fine. There we go. That's because I was using individual origins. Alright. Here we go. I want to kind of curve that because of the perspective. Just a little bit. When I go back to the camera view, it levels out again. Oh yes, and this, and shift that down. That part needs to stay up though. This part can shift back a little bit. I want this whole top section to come down a little bit to match the drawing. Yeah, the hair looked a little bald. Yeah, I think before when I had it kind of up, it did look like he had a receding hairline. Although maybe it should come down because of the perspective. Like this, yeah. Is that too much? I think it should all kind of come up a bit. I'll just move that up. Just deselect all of this part and just shift it up. now I'm going to use this, I'm going to rotate it slightly, and I'm going to use the box to form to give it a little bit of perspective. Oh no, I forgot how this add-on worked and I removed all my progress there. Okay, not a problem. I'll do it better this time. Okay, there we go. Okay, I like the way that looks so far. I feel like he gets a little taller there, which is strange. I might just, once I've done this leg, I might deviate from the sketch just to make him a little shorter again. Yeah, the body kind of stops down there. Maybe it's just a matter of, uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. It's okay. This base, I might need to redraw. On this first frame. Okay. There we go. I'm gonna move this stuff down. There we go. Move that really far down. I'm gonna actually shift all of this way down like this. still kind of looks like he's getting taller. So I'm just going to shift that back up a little bit. And move his torso down. Move the legs back up. And just move that down. Move that down. There we go. Alright. Let's turn this back on. Let's get these legs in order, shall we? Oh, why is... Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. Hello, one true tuna lover. Glad to have you here. I'm just gonna flip that foot. Just shift that over like that. Okay, so here's where the time-saving aspect of this method of animation really comes into play. So usually, if we're doing this frame by frame, it would be much faster to just draw this pose and then this pose. But then you'd have to also spend just as much time drawing all the in-betweens, right? But watch this. Let's take this bone. 2 frames later, I'm going to add another keyframe, and I'm just going to make this first keyframe like almost exactly the same thing. And I'm just going to make a little anticipation by going to -6%. I'm actually going to make these arms though just -100% so they don't change at all. Same with the legs. Alright. But this goes up, this goes back, and rotates up. Now, I need to make sure that these contact points with the feet still work. In fact, let me just turn on the 3D cursor. And put it right there at an identifiable point, and then I can just move it into place. I can scale from the cursor. Still get it looking good. Oh, lovely. Here I'm gonna add a little bit of overlapping action, a little bit of drag. I'm gonna make this all of this face stuff drag a little bit by making it go negative. Cool. See how fast that was? Like, we did 2 key poses, and granted, both of those key poses took a little bit of time, but now we've got like a really nice full animation. We didn't even have to draw or alter any of the drawings. We just... And that's how it's hopefully going to go for the rest of the poses. So if we turn on the roughs again. So that's the dark magic that you were speaking of before. Exactly. It feels like magic, where you just draw 2 poses, and then with a little bit of effort, you just boom. It's a full animation. All right. I'm gonna get that pose next. Now, what's important in this part of the process is to focus less on what the drawings look like and more on where the bones are, because the drawings are going to change. What's important is that the pivot points for the bones make sense once the drawings do change. You know? This is going to be really interesting. Okay, so this body, I'm going to just duplicate the first keyframe because, yeah, that's much closer to what we need. But it's not perfect. I'm going to get rid of this shadow. I'm going to hide this camera. Set this to view so I can scale it like that. Alright, that's looking good. Where is it? I need this to kind of look like it's bending upwards. So that's this needs to have a lattice. I accidentally defaulted to Toon Boom shortcuts. Let me just, okay, go back. Okay, cool. That's looking good. That just needs to come in a bit. And then, oh, because I went undo, I just need to apply it. Make sure I apply the active keyframe. Okay, and now I can get rid of that. Okay, cool. But now I'm going to do the same thing here with the box deform. This is looking quite good, I think. I'm quite happy with the direction this is going. Do you think graphics tablets would work? Do you think touchscreen graphics tablets would work with Blender? I miss some of the commodities of drawing on Android, but I don't know if I could replicate that feeling with Blender. Do you mean like a touchscreen graphics tablet that would plug into a computer, like a Wacom or a Huion, that sort of thing, rather than like an Android tablet? Because I don't know if there's going to be a Blender version for Android anytime soon. But if you just mean like a Huion touch tablet, I really wouldn't know. I don't really like touch tablets, partly because they're always more expensive than the non-touch kind, and I'm just used to the non-touch variety. So I've never actually used a touchscreen graphics tablet, and I'm not really keen to. But if that's something you're into, I don't know how Blender would react. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what's built in, where there'd be workarounds, where things just wouldn't work very well. I'm not sure. It'd be interesting. Yeah. Maybe I might be able to test it out. My mum has a touchscreen laptop. So if I install Blender on that, I might be able to see what works out of the box and what doesn't. You know? I'll just duplicate this, apply all keyframes. Alright, now I should be able to select any of these. Lovely. I love that. Where did I put my references? Sorry, here they are. Now his gloves. Oh, they kind of wrap around. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Wait, the white part ends there. What? Okay. I'm not doing that. And he's got black on the palms? Oh, I haven't given him gloves at all. Hang on. Let me just replace this material with white. There we go. Now he's got gloves. Maybe he should have some darker grey on the bottoms there. Alright, I'm just going to retroactively add some more details here. On here, I'm just going to... I feel like that looks bad though. You know? It's fine. It looks perfectly fine. Let me just go over here. Don't know how I feel about that. We'll see though. We'll see. Now on the next keyframe here, I now need to, I guess, do the same thing here. Whoa, what's that? What was that? Why is it red? Oh, why are there so many materials here? Oh, I'm on the rough. Okay, there we go. Okay. Yeah, more masking, exactly. It's annoying. What happens if I shift this by 2 frames? Oh, that doesn't look so good. Or maybe, yeah, no, there we go. brother, why don't you use vertex groups in rigging? So I used to use them a lot, and there's nothing wrong with using vertex groups, but I've found that for this particular workflow, I'm doing a lot of like editing the drawings, right? And you see when I go to a feature keyframe, I've messed up. When I go to a future keyframe, sorry, and I edit something, it creates a new keyframe here, right? Well, actually, that's maybe not a good example. If I go to new keyframe and I draw something, it creates a new keyframe automatically, right? And that's great. Except if I used vertex keyframes, vertex groups, it wouldn't stay attached to the bone. So instead, I'm just parenting the objects, and then just if I need any more detail, I do it through the drawing, like new drawings, and using sculpt mode and that sort of thing. So it's not a perfect workflow, but I think for something like this is the best way to go. Let's go back to that last keyframe. I need to draw that again. No. Okay. Now, wait a minute. He's going like this. Hey, no worries, Mr. Sophie King. Now, if he's going like this, his arm's gonna kind of rotate around like that to the point that there's actually not much of the white showing from his shoulder. Bring that up. Okay, I don't like how that's looking right now. I'm gonna bring that up like that. Oh, why is this? Hang on, I need to bring this forward. There we go. Even though that makes things a little more complicated, it should be fine. Sophie King, before we were talking about why I wasn't using vertex groups, and someone mentioned that they use lattices, right? And so you can add a vertex group on a lattice and then use that to attach it to the armature. and that allows you to, whatever grease pencil object you attach to the lattice, that allows you to kind of create new drawings, and you get a little bit of a mix of both worlds, which is nice if that's what you're after. If that made any sense. Alright, it's almost there. And now this, I'm gonna actually duplicate the first one. And I'm gonna actually flip that around. Nice. But I'm gonna make this blue. Uh-oh. I've messed this up. I've messed up the camera. Okay, there we go. I almost just brought up my stylus to my monitor without, even though that was definitely not going to work. I think I'm going to call this one White Lines. You could make this that color, but just a little darker, a little more saturated, and also slightly more purple. And I will now... Oh, I don't like that. Hang on, let me get the... I'll remove that thickness modifier. Nope. You know what? This was a bad idea. I'm just gonna remove that material. Make a new material slot, a shadow. And that's just, okay. And now that, we'll just go. There we go. Simple. Now again, in the references, he's got like a black underside to the gloves, but I wonder if just for simplicity, like I've removed all the black from the belt and such. So I wonder if for simplicity I should just keep it a couple of light colors, you know, like it is. Let me know what you guys think. Let me just duplicate this. At least duplicate this. Yeah, there we go. Black doesn't really fit the style that you're trying to make, but because it goes to make another use of a mask, I'd like to see it. Yeah, exactly. I'll just add another few masks just to make the black gloves. But no, I think you're right. The black doesn't fit the style. And I'm lazy, and I feel like I'm already committed to my current color palette, you know? Oh, wrong drawing. I should probably lock the selection of that roughs drawing. There we go. That way I can't accidentally select it. Just gonna redraw that part. Oh, now I have the shadow that I can just draw in here. Oh, this one. Okay, pretty happy with that. Let me just turn off the buffs. Refine it a bit, because it's not quite there. Now with this technique, I can just duplicate the simplify thing, apply it to all keyframes, and hopefully that will give me a little more control. Yeah, there we go. I think another thing I like about this workflow is, much like a more traditional animation kind of workflow, it lets you prioritize what poses you spend the time on, you know? Am I going to make all of the animation or just part of it? I'm going to make all of the animation. I don't know today if I'm going to make all of it. Hopefully. We'll see. Maybe not. No, turn it back on. I probably won't get around to the fire effects that you can see in the rough animation there. But I might be able to finish the character animation. Actually, what time is it? I should check what time it is before. Whoa! It's already 7:47? Alright, maybe I won't do all of it. I need to think about dinner at some point. Oh, man, that's really annoying. I was really having a good time. Sometimes when you're working and it feels like time has paused, why can't it be that time actually pauses? Let's turn that roughs back on and we'll get that last frame in there. I'm gonna, Alright. Here we go. Let's get that down here. Bring that down. It's almost 2 AM. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's getting late. But yeah, I really should start thinking about dinner soon. It's annoying. I just want to keep animating. Alright, I probably won't finish the entire animation, but maybe... I think I'm going to finish the animation up until here. Okay, right before he starts flailing around on the floor, because that's going to be... oh, that's going to be a lot. And then in future... I will do another live stream on this probably in the near future, but I don't know. It's Friday today, and which means tomorrow it's Saturday. I might stream tomorrow, depending on what my family has planned. I won't stream on Sunday because I'm flying back to Auckland. But then after Sunday, who knows? I'll probably stream again soon. Guess it depends on how tired I am after work, but I'm wanting to commit a bit more to YouTube this year. But then again, I've got to actually finish my next video if I'm going to do that. There we go, and boom. What? Why is that suddenly working now? That's strange. Before it was coming up with an error every time I tried to do that. Ah, I need to animate him saying flame on. Or I need to record myself at some point saying that. I'm pretty sure that's what the Human Torch says when he fires up his powers. Yeah, I'm not actually a huge Fantastic Four fan, so I feel a bit weird about making this, like, spending hours on this, pretty much what is a fan art animation, right? Should have done something I'm more interested, like maybe another hero that I'm more familiar with.
maybe a DC fire-based character. I'm sure there's plenty, right? Dr. Phosphorus. Again, I'm actually even less familiar with him than I am Human Torch. Starfire? Actually, yeah. I don't know. Why has it stopped working suddenly? Oh, I have to have a grease pencil object selected? Why? That doesn't make any sense. The power of dinner is making it work. Yeah, exactly. It's always when you have another obligation that suddenly you're doing your best work, you know? Like when I'm working professionally in the studio, I'll find that I get really demotivated about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I find it really difficult to make any progress. Leave it maybe half an hour to an hour, and suddenly I'm back into it, you know. But then of course 5 o'clock rolls around, and I'm like, oh, I have to leave. Why? Are there any new Blender 5.0 features that I'm excited about? I haven't actually really kept up to date with the new features. I should have. I've just recently upgraded to 5.0, but I haven't actually. I'm totally ignorant as to what's new. You tell me. Is there anything that you're excited about that I should check out? Man, I regret checking the time. Starting to feel hungry.
Should add more support for USD. That's exciting. Yeah, that's really good for like when you're moving between software, right? Apparently, the video editing workspace now allows you to drop shots from different scenes into the editor, and when you update the scene, updates the shot in the editor in real time. Oh yeah, I heard about this. It's like they've got a new storyboarding workspace, right? That uses that feature. I'm really excited for that. Yeah, that's gonna be amazing. In this context, it refers to, I think, universal scene description. It's basically a way to standardize file formats between software, so that you can work, or you can have multiple artists. One person's doing the texture painting, one person's doing the modeling, one person's doing the scene layout, one person's rigging, that sort of thing, and they're all working in their own software, but all on the same file. And so because it's and so it's universal between softwares, which is pretty cool. Unless of course uh, they're referring to something else, but I think that's what it's about. Oh, and clay pencil, yes. I think that's been out for a bit, but it's like it's a third party thing, right? Using the geometry nodes, I've used it a little bit. It's really cool. Yeah, the best file with the worst name we could possibly imagine. Exactly. It's like, what should we name this super useful feature? We'll name it after a currency. They might as well have called it American dollars. Means universal file format. I think it was originally made by Pixar, right? They developed it for their own, but then they open sourced it, which is awesome. Go them. I think it mainly affects like visual effects departments of in the industry. I don't know how much I'm actually going to end up using it, but it's cool that it exists. If it gets more people using Blender, it's a win in my book. I'm such a Blender evangelist. Yeah, me too. I feel like in my workplace, I've kind of become the open source and Blender guy, But in a nice way though. I'm not too annoying, I don't think. It's actually been a lot of fun though, because I've got that reputation. There've been a couple opportunities where I've been able to use Blender in my workplace, which has been a lot of fun. You're right, I don't actually know much about how USD works, but I heard somewhere that like studios are able to have like one USD file that's split up into different parts, like one for, you know, texture painting, one for modeling, one for layouts, that sort of thing. So, but maybe I'm mistaken. Imagine how many bugs that would add. Yeah, I would imagine you got to be really careful when you got multiple people working on the same file. You got to know what file, what is being edited, what's locked. You know, like at work we've got a system where anyone can just download any of the shots that are, you know, being worked on. But if you're currently working on something, you need to lock it so that nobody else touches it, you know? I think this needs... DLSS support for way faster viewport and view render than any of the denoiser. Oh, that's exciting. Yeah, denoising's great. To get that faster would be awesome. DLSS. I thought that was anti-aliasing, but maybe I'm mixing it up with something. Is that a denoising software, like algorithm?
I shouldn't whistle copyrighted songs on a live stream, sorry.
DLSS is for making and upscaling frames via NVIDIA graphics card slot. For AAA of AAA nowadays have it. Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, it's cool. Because I was a little worried because I recently built a computer and I bought a really expensive NVIDIA graphics card. And then recently I looked up what would be almost the AMD equivalent, like similar level of performance, and I was like, oh no, it's almost half the price. But you know, if you're telling me that NVIDIA has other advantages for specifically for Blender and such, you know what, that's great. I'm you know, I can pretend I've made the right decision. Happy New Month. Happy New Month to you too. Oh, it would be if you were saying it's 2 a.m. Mr. Akino Stew, so it's probably the 2nd of January everywhere now, right? I considered doing a live stream yesterday on the 1st of January when it would be the 31st of December everywhere else in the world, and saying something like, I'm speaking to you from the future from the year 2026. But I didn't end up having time for that. Oh my! The news is that the price of RAM, GPU, and processors are starting to get expensive. Yeah, I heard about the RAM. I'm really glad. When I built my computer, I bought like 64 gigabytes of RAM, which should be fine for a long time. Right, like not long before that happened, so I got a good price. I definitely wouldn't be buying 64 gigabytes of RAM now. You're in California, still got 45 minutes of January 1st left. Nice. Yeah, I've got a few hours left. Oh no, it's like almost 8 o'clock. Oh, it's 8:15 on January 2nd.
8:15 in the evening. How about Mac Mini? You know, I've heard that actually Apple hasn't increased their RAM prices just because their markup was already so high that they can just kind of absorb the increased prices. Although also there's probably a factor that just means that you know, they've got a contract with whoever supplies their RAM, so that they're not as affected as everyday consumers. So if you're buying, you know, a computer directly from someone like Apple or Lenovo or Dell or whatever, it probably isn't increasing in price significantly because of the RAM. You're from the future. The 5090 MSRP is now $5,000. Oh no. Is it? Wait. What's the actual value of a 5090? Because surely it's not. Wait. Not 5,000 US dollars, right? Because that's probably not far off what I would pay for it in New Zealand dollars. Alright, those are all the keyframes done. Now let's start posing them, shall we? Now I want to select all of those, copy that. Let me just get that in place. The cost of building is about $1,000. Original MSRP was about $1,800 to $2,200. Wow. Yeah, it's so strange to me talking in US dollars, because I bought a few months ago. I bought a 5080 for about $3,000, but that's New Zealand, so that's probably like a lot less in US dollars. Oh, I need to redraw this. Oh, that's annoying. Or it might have been a little less than 3,000. Anyway.
5080 is now getting to the price of the 5090? No way. So is it now more cost effective to just build with the most powerful graphics card rather than taking a step down? I think when I was when I built my one, I don't think there were any 5090s available. So I'm happy with my decision. Except I'm still wondering if I should have gone AMD instead. Okay. It's looking a bit stiff at the moment, but once I've added some overlapping action and the like, it'll look a lot better. Thank goodness I only do non-photorealistic rendering with my 5-year-old build. Still works fine for all my needs. Yeah, no, it's choosing a style that doesn't need a huge amount of rendering is a, you know, your wallet's gonna thank you. You know. But yeah, a 5-year-old PC should be still pretty good for most things, right? Depending, I guess it depends on like how good it was for the time when you built it, you know. Still using GTX 1060. Yeah, I'm honestly pretty bad at understanding the naming conventions of these like graphics cards and such. But yeah, I mean, again, it depends on what you need it for, right? I probably didn't need a 5080, but you know, I was like, man, I've finally got like grown-up animation money, and I can write it off in my taxes. It's basically free, right? Maybe not quite, but yeah, no, it was good. My computer can't run the game me and my friend's studio a game studio is developing though. Oh yeah, no, that does sound like maybe you need to invest in a new computer, or an upgrade rather. Or maybe you just need to optimize your game better. No, I'm sure. It's good. I think actually it's probably a good thing for most game developers to kind of have lower end hardware, just so that more people will be able to play their games, right? Happy New Year, Rex. Thanks. I'm glad you could join us. There's a video you did about shadows in Moho. I asked you to explain it in a way I can understand. I'll be waiting. Nice work, by the way. I do not know how to use Toon Boom. Alright, that's yeah. I know the video you're talking about. It's been so long since I did that, and it's been a long time since I've used Moho too. And honestly, I never actually used that shadow system after I made it. It was kind of like an interesting thing, but not actually that useful, at least not for me. So I've kind of forgotten how it works. So if the video doesn't explain it properly, I'm sorry. I wish I'd done a better job at the time. Oh, why is that flipped? Oh, it's because... Okay. All of this to be like that. It's looking bold at the moment. Can I gather the media for the Moho file and send it to you? I might not even have the file anymore. I mean, I can take a look after the stream, but can't promise anything, I'm afraid. Yeah, that's if you install the Grease Pencil Tools add-on, which you can find on the Blender page. For some reason, it's only working when I've got a Grease Pencil object selected. I don't know why. Usually, it works all the time. And then if you just Alt and then middle click and drag, it's really good, especially if you're in like full screen and you're drawing something and you're doing like frame by frame animation. You don't want to exit full screen just to change your timer, like where you are on the timeline. You can just Alt middle click and it's really nice. For some reason though, when I have my armature selected, it gives me an error. It might be like an incompatible, like another add-on trying to fight for priority, or it might just be a bug with the add-on. I'm not sure. No worries. Getting quite hungry now. I really should stop and eat, but I'm so close, you know? It does make it difficult when you just want to finish it, you know? If I turn off the roughs, I know it's not perfect yet, there's still a lot of frames that I need to work out, but okay, it's getting there. It's still a little stiff in this part, but it's getting closer. Don't forget about dinner, that would make you more productive. Yeah, I will. But I'm probably not going to have time to come back to this today after I've eaten, so I do just want to get as much done as I can before I go off. It's 8:30. Oh. Right. Just gonna do a little more. just copy this frame. There we go. That's better. Oh, I should have called this, like, instead of Happy New Year, I should have called the stream, what a fantastic, fantastic New Year, because it's the Fantastic Four. And then you could all say that again, like in the meme. At this rate, you'll be ordering delivery and eating it while animating. Yeah, except I'm visiting my parents and we live quite remote, so I don't think delivery is an option, unfortunately. But I'm sure, I think there'll be lots of leftovers from the last few dinners that we've had, so it shouldn't be a problem. I just want to finish this section of animation, you know? Oh, it's almost 9. It'll be fine. What happened there? You know, I think I might just cut out that frame. I'm clearly losing my mind for not eating. Yeah, a little bit. But I'm so close! It's already looking much better than it was before. Oh, yeah. I just need to... Oh, I'm so close. Okay, now this needs to update a bit sooner. Like that. Like that. Maybe I need to have one there and then this one. Yeah, there we go. Alright. I'm just going to add a few eye dots here. Just to give him a little bit of life. We'll see how alive he looks once he's looking around a bit. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Oh, so close. Now I just need to have him flail around and add a bunch of fire effects. But I think that's it for now. Yeah, it looks like the Human Torch. I get horrible heartburn if I eat before bed, but still do it because an ADHD even procrastinates eating. Yeah, no, that's I don't relate to the heartburn before bed, but I do relate to the procrastinating eating. Although usually when I'm at home, what I've noticed recently, because it's summer here, it gets dark really, really late. And so I'll often be just, goofing around, either animating something or maybe playing a game or watching a video or something. And then I realize, oh, it's 8 o'clock. I'll just make sure I eat a good meal tomorrow. Rather than just eating a lot before bed. I just go, oh, I'll just eat more tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Hopefully as I go into winter, the lack of light will remind me to eat a bit earlier in the day, and I'll have the time to cook something before bed, or at least go to a takeaway place before it closes. You would be. Say before the disaster, trust me. I'm from the future where you didn't eat, and the PC components became so expensive that the RAM and that the RAM in the pasta cost as much as a house of meat. All right, I'll make sure I eat then. All right, thank you guys for joining me. It's lots of fun. I've made lots of progress here. I'm really happy with it. Yeah. I think if I do a good job, I might be in the running to win this month's competition. But I don't know. It depends on what other people enter. The other people who've been entering are so talented. All right, I'll see you guys around. Have a good night.